Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be doing what I read in a week, but it's going to be a fantasy edition. I chose to do fantasy this week because I have the week of work, so I actually have time to be able to read a decent sized fantasy book. During the summer I did read lots of romance books, not really that many fantasies, and I want to get back into fantasy books. So I've chosen 3 fantasy books I want to read. The first one I picked was Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Murder. This one. I've had this on my TBR for quite a long time and I'm really excited to read it because I read the back and it just sounds so good. I'm very intrigued in the new book, the second book in the series. It's just come out, so this is the first one. The second book I've chosen is Lightlark by Alex Astor, and I've seen a lot about this on TikTok and things. I don't really know too much what it's about, but I see a lot of people that do like it, and I'm just quite intrigued to see what it's about. And then hopefully the final book that we will get to in this reading vlog is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. All I know about this, I believe it has dragons in, and that was enough for me to purchase it. So I'm quite excited because I really did love Wolfwing and the dragon aspect in there, and I really want to read more books that have dragons in. So I chose this one. I think the first book I'm going to pick up is Lightlark because I feel more intrigued by it. I don't know why. I really like the cover of this. And this is like smaller than the standard UK paperback hardcover, which I really like because this is like the standard one. This is Lightlark. Like, it's so cute, it's so small. And I believe it is a YA as well. A YA romantasy. That's about all I know. Look at the design it has on the naked hardcover. It's beautiful. And when you're reading a hardback book, if you don't take the hardcover, the dust jacket off, who are you? Why? I just want to know why, because then it just keeps the dust jacket nice and... I don't know what word I'm trying to think of. In good condition. So I'm on page 77, chapter 10, and I thought this would be a good time to tell you a brief description of roughly what I understand about the book. It's basically Lightlark, the island, appears every 100 years, and there's like 6 rulers from 6 other lands that come together to battle it out, and because they all have curses as well. I think they're all different curses, and one of them has to die to break the curses. Also, the main character Isla, all of the rulers have powers, but she doesn't, and I think she doesn't have the powers because of the curse that she has, and none of them know she doesn't have the powers apart from one person, one of the other rulers that she's become friends with, even though they're not meant to, but they're keeping it a secret from all the other rulers. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to give too much more away, but that's the basic gist of it. I'd say it's an alright book. It's not my favourite, it's not mind-blowing. I'd say it's probably sitting at a 3 something at the moment. It's alright, but I'd say there's better things that I've more enjoyed, but I'm not even 100 pages in yet, so things might definitely change. It did take me a while to start to get into this, to really delve in like it, I guess. I think this has got romantasy in it, I'm not really sure. But if it is, I already have a guess of who it's going to be. And I'm so excited because their conversations, their interactions have been so good, and I'm really looking forward to see where that goes. So if I have any more thoughts, feelings, I'll get back to you. So it's now like 9 PM and I haven't checked in since the last time I checked in. And I'm now on page almost 190, page chapter 26. And I had quite a good time. It's not one of my top fantasies, but I think it's getting towards 3.5. So it's a decent book, but it's not like superb. I'd also say there's nothing I really dislike about it. I like the main character. I do like where the storyline is going, and I'm very intrigued to see what happens. But that's all I really have to say at the moment. So it is currently 9 PM on Monday, but I've started watching Dexter on Netflix, and I really want to watch another episode before I go to bed, so I think that's what I'm going to do. If I do read any more tonight, it'll probably be a chapter or 2. I don't think I'll read much more because even though I'm not doing anything the next day, I do still like to go to bed at a reasonable time. Usually like between 10 and 11 is my bedtime when I'm not working, because I'm not a night person, I'm more of a morning person. But anyway, that's just probably the last update for today on Monday. So I'll probably see you in the morning. So it is now Tuesday, the next morning. I did read one more chapter before I went to bed last night, so I'm on now page 197, chapter 27. And my thoughts are still the same as yesterday. It's an alright book, I like it. It's easy to read, it's a quickish pace so far, I guess. There's nothing I dislike about it. I am about like halfway done with this book, because I think this book is just under 400 pages. Oh, it's just over. It is 409 pages, so I should be able to finish the rest today. So if I have any more thoughts, any more feelings about it, I will come back to you guys. So I'm now on chapter 39, page 286, and the last chapter. Shocked what happened, because basically they've been put into, there's 6 of them, and they've each been paired with someone else, and someone's chosen, and the person that Isla was paired with, she told him one of her deepest secrets that she's only ever told she told one person, and some of the people from her world know. But apart from that, no one knows, and he's just gone and told all of the rest of them, so now they know she has no powers, and they all have powers, and they are all, to get rid of this curse that they all have, they have to kill one of them. I'm feeling like it's such an easy book to read, it's such a quick pace, because I've only got just over 100 pages left. I am actually having quite a good time, but I feel like it's not fantastic, it's not magnificent, so I think it's still sitting at 3.5 stars. So I finished it. I know, I'm just in shock. I don't know what to say. Like the last, I'd say 100 pages, there are so many betrayals, so many people stabbing each other, well, not literally stabbing each other in the back, but metaphorically speaking, and the big twist at the end. I did not see that coming. Oh, my heart was broken. I was like, how? Why? But yeah. And there's like, it somewhat leaves off on a cliffhanger. It's not like a major one. Like, oh, is this person alive? Is this person dead? It's nothing like that. It's just, they've been trying to do something. She's been trying to do something this whole book. And she's finally figured out, got it open. And that was the end. I think I'm going to give this 4 stars. It's not quite more than that, but I think if the rest of the book was like the last 100 pages, it would have been higher. It's the last 100 pages that brought it up to 4 stars, because wow. Just wow. It's not even that late. It is currently 4:30. It is. And I really want to play City Skylines. I do now. Let's put this down. I really want to play that now, because I think the next book I'm going to pick up, it's not going to be assistant to the villain. I think I want to pick up When the Moon Hatched, because it's on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm planning on going to London tomorrow to have a little bookish day out, go in the shops, have a little shop around, just spend the day up in London, because it's only about 40-minute train journey from where I live. So that's what the plan is tomorrow. So I might start When the Moon Hatched on my Kindle, because it, like I said, did I say? I think I did. It is on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm just going to take my Kindle with me up to London tomorrow and maybe go into a coffee shop or somewhere and read my book. I don't know, but that's the plan. So if I don't give you an update the rest of the day, it'll probably be tomorrow morning, just before I go to London or something like that. Because will I take my camera with me? I'm not sure. I might not, because I'm only taking my little tiny Coach bag that I was influenced to buy because it can fit a book in it, and it can actually fit this small hardcover book in it, so it's quite a decent size. But I might bring it, I might not, I'm not sure. But anyway, that is Like That finished, and it was 4 stars. So it's now Wednesday, and I've started When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker on my Kindle. And I did read last night. I managed to read up to chapter 3. What page is it? On my Kindle it's saying it's page 23. And I'm really liking it so far. It's a bit more of a complexed one compared to Light Lark, because Light Lark is a YA and this is, I believe this is just an adult one. I really like how she's describing a lot of the things like that. I'm going to be reading this book today, but I'm also going to be going up into London to have just a day looking around the bookshops. I don't know, it's going somewhere. I already said it yesterday. That's today's plan. So it's about 40-minute train journey from where at my train station to up into central London. So I'll read a bit on the train. I probably won't update you till I get home. Unless I have something really important to say, I'll probably record it on my phone. So I'm now home from the little day I spent out in London. I brought a few books and a few other things. And I read about 2-3 chapters while I was gone. It's good. It's a really well written book. But it's very high fantasy. And some bits I'm confused. It gets confusing. I'm confusing myself. Like, it being one scene and then it suddenly goes to the next scene. Like, what's happening? I'm now on chapter 5. It's only page 36. I've read 36 pages since last night and now. I thought it was more because on my Kindle it says it's like page 50. I am contemplating, I think that's the right word. Soft DNF in it, I don't know. Because it's really well written. It's just my little brain can't process all this stuff. But I think I'm going to give it another couple of chapters and see how I feel. So it's quite a bit later on in the day and I'm getting more into the book. I am. It's better. I'm not at the point of wanting to DNF it anymore. I did have that thought. I'm on page 133, chapter 22, and I'm really liking the female main character. I'm really liking her. And I am getting more into it. Am I still completely confused at what's going on? Yes. I'm having a good time, but what's going on? Do you know what I mean? So I probably will read a bit more tonight. I don't know how much more I'm going to read, but if I do have any more thoughts about it, I will come back to you. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. So I ended up reading quite a bit yesterday after I checked. I can't remember what I said I was on, but I'm now on page 165, chapter 28. I am having a really good time while reading it, but the one thing is, I'm just confused. I'm really confused about what's going on. Like, the main character, I don't know how you'd say her name. Ravi, I think it says in the, because in the back of this book there's like a glossary and word pronunciation, but did I read that? No I didn't. And that's probably why I'm confused. I'm not gonna, if you've read this book you're gonna probably know what I'm saying, but if you haven't you won't know. But it's not, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna say words that only if you've read it you understand. So basically around, say between 100-150 pages, the main character, she ends up getting taken, trapped, if you get what I mean. And I know how she done it and why she ended up in that place, but how did she get, I just don't remember how it got to that scene. I'm just confused. I am having such a good time. It is probably sitting at 3 stars just because I am very confused about, like, I'll be reading it, I'll be like, oh yeah I understand this, and it gets to the next bit, I'm like, what just happened? Because I feel like this is very high fantasy and I've not read many high fantasy books. The books I read are very low fantasy, not confusing, not many new terminologies. Like, my type of fantasy is like Fourth Wing. I can understand it, it's have a good time, do you know what I mean? But I'm very excited to see where this goes. Fourth Wing is very dragon based. This is very dragon based, but it's not similar sort of dragon based, because Fourth Wing's like set in like the war college and they're learning how to ride dragons, all that sort of thing. This doesn't have that sort of vibe. So if you want something exactly like Fourth Wing, this does have dragons, but it's not the same vibe of like realm of vibe of dragons, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm rambling now, so let's just get to reading. So I am now on chapter 38, page 235, and I am starting to understand it a bit more now. I'm not as confused as I was earlier, and I'm loving the like dynamic that's happening between Khan And what's her name? I keep forgetting how to pronounce Ravi? Ravin? Let me look at the pronunciation. Ravi surname. But Khan and Ravi, their dynamic is so good. I love it. I have been listening to some of it on audiobook as well, just to help me get through it, because it is such a thick book, and I feel like it's not holding my concentration as much as some other books. Still good books, still phenomenal, but my concentration is not as high as it usually would be. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's enough. I'm reading 2 different fantasy series back to back. Which have I done? I don't know if I've done that before. I don't think I have. Usually I split between like romance books to keep it apart. Maybe that's why my concentration is not as good. But I'm getting almost halfway through, so we're getting there slowly. So it's now later on Thursday evening. I had to think of what day it was, couldn't think. But anyway, I'm on chapter 47, page just over 301, and I thought I was getting better at understanding it, but 1 minute I'll be like, oh, I'm really understanding it. Next minute, no clue what's going on, no clue what they're saying. I do really like the interactions between Khan and Ravi, like their banter. I love it. The tension. And something has just got revealed, and I was like, I did not see that coming. So it's quite good. I am confused. So I think it is sitting at like a 3 stars, because I don't hate it. I don't love it. I am confused. So it's now Friday morning, and I'm still reading this book. It's taken me a while to get through. I'm reading it mostly on my Kindle here, my stand, my page clicker, so I don't have to hold it, because holding this chunky book, it hurts your hands after a while, and it's on Kindle Unlimited, so why not? But I'm on page 334. It's not. I'm not on a certain chapter in this book. There's like diary entries, and I'm on one of those chapters, and I can't remember what I last said. Did I say I wasn't getting confused anymore? Well, I am confused again. Still sitting at 3 stars. It's good. Writing's beautiful. At points I'm like, I have no clue what's going on. No clue. So I finished When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, and I have mixed feelings about it. I did enjoy finding out about Ravi's past and everything that happened, and like the twists and turns. I was a bit like intrigued by that, but like the world building, it was a bit too complicated for me, as you can probably tell by previous clips. And I feel like I was getting so confused by it, and then I think, oh, I understand it, and then I just got confused again. And I wasn't 100% down with the romance. Like, I loved the banter and stuff like that, but then it came to the romance, it just wasn't hitting like it usually should do, and I was like, there's something missing, but I don't know what. But it's not a terrible book. Like, her writing is beautiful, especially like the world building. Even though I can understand what was happening, I found it so beautiful. It was the way she was like describing things. So I gave this book a 3 stars, and I probably will carry on, because I know there's a second book coming out. Is it? I don't know. I think it must be next year. I'm not really sure when it's coming out, but it's coming out. And I probably will read it, because I didn't not hate it, and I want to find out what happens next, because it's not like a really big cliffhanger, but you want to read more to find out what's going to happen because of some of the storylines in it. So the next book I'm going to pick up is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. What I know about this is like some sort of villain, and then this girl becomes an assistant to him. That's what I believe from the title. I believe it's more, I assume it's a romantasy, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to go straight into it now. I want to have a bit of time in between reading them to just digest everything, and then I'll go into it, because it's too much for my brain to comprehend all this fantasy in 1 week. Too much. I like reading fantasy, then reading quite a few romance, then fantasy. Unless it's part of a series, I can read that all at once. But like separate fantasy series, it just messes with my mind. So it's now a bit later on in the day, and I'm now going to pick up Assistant to the Villain. And what I've read I don't know if you call it a subnostic, I can't even say the word, or a blurb or book description thing on the back. And basically it follows Evie, and she's trying to help her, is it her younger sister, and support her So she has to get a job, and she gets a job with a villain. And I believe it doesn't say he just says the most famous villain. I don't know if that's her name, the villain's name, or not. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. And I'm hoping it's quite a. It says at the top here, from TikTok sensation comes a laugh out loud fantasy romance about assistant to an evil villain and their likely love story. So I feel like hopefully this can make me laugh, because I feel like that's what I'm missing out of, like, some fantasy books do have it in. More so romance books have a bit more fun, more I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyway, I'm hoping that brings a bit more of the romance into it, because I think that's what I'm craving at the moment, just some pure romance. So let's just get started with reading. I haven't read any of it yet, but can we appreciate this map? That one's so cool. I love it. So it's quite a few hours later, and I've been reading. I am on chapter 10, page 70, and I'm obsessed. I'm really loving the plot of it so far. Basically, Evie is having to take care of her father because he's not very well, and she has like a younger sister who I believe is 10 years old, and she needs to get a job to be able to pay for the things that they need. And she somehow stumbles upon the villain. He offers her a job as his assistant, so she does that. The things that have already happened in 70 chapters. I'm in shock. I'm not in shock, but like, it's so good. So intriguing. I don't think I've read anything really like this before. And I'm loving like the dynamic between the two main characters. It's so good. There's a frog in this, and I know that might sound a bit, but this frog on the cover is called Kingsley, and he can't speak, but he holds up signs. That's why he's got like a little sign, because the storyline is setting up so far, because she's like his assistant, and then he has this like manor that's invisible to the outside world, I believe, and someone from the inside is like sabotaging the stuff that they do, because he likes to steal things and things like that. So somebody's sabotaging them, and he's trying to find out who is sabotaging them, and something just happened, and I kind of stopped on like end of a chapter on like somewhat of a cliffhanger. I can't stop thinking about it. It's now Saturday morning, and I did read a bit more last night after I checked in with you. I read up to page 100, and I have started reading this morning, and I'm just about up to page 120, and I am having a good time while reading it. It's such a different sort of like fantasy that I haven't read like this before. I think I've said that already, and I feel like this is reading really fast paced and quick, and I'm not wanting to put it down at points, whereas like when I was reading When the Moon Hatched, I kept wanting to put it down. I didn't really want to pick it up, but this I want to pick up and read. This book, oh my god, I don't even know what to say. It was just so good. If you can't tell, I finished it now as well, but from like start to end, it had me so hooked, and I was like giggling throughout. I cried at points as well. Like the characters and like development throughout, so good. The plot twist, I thought I had the plot twist, like who was the sabotaging them figured out, but no, I didn't. I did not expect the person who was sabotaging them to sabotage them. Like, I was in shock. My jaw, I was like this. When I found out, I couldn't quite believe it. There isn't actually that much romance in it. Like, they do kiss, but that's pretty, and they hold hands and hugs, but that's all there's no spice in it. That's pretty much all they do. So it's not like a very romantic one. There is that sort of like tension between them where you can tell they do have feelings, and this gets left on a cliffhanger, and I want to go read into the next bit straight away, but I don't think I am, because I've got other books I want to read first before the end of the month finishes, and that one we just have to wait. Oh, so good. And also the frog that's in it, the Kingsley, the twist at the end with him. If I read it correctly, I was like, no, that can't be, but I love the character of Kingsley. He wasn't even really in it much, but the scenes he was in were so fun. I feel like also this was such a unique plot and like storyline. I haven't really read anything like it, and I feel like that's really why I enjoyed it a lot, and I feel like if you still want to read fantasy but you want to take a bit of a break from more of the in-depth, higher sort of fantasies, this is the one for you, because it slightly dabbles in the fantasy element, but it doesn't go really that detailed into depth with all these different names and big complex magic systems. This is just a nice and simple one, and I feel like this was such well paced. It kept me intrigued the whole time. I did have to put this book down because I did have things to do, but when I didn't have to put it down, I was like, I don't want to, I want to just pick it up, carry on reading. And I felt like it really kept me entertained that whole time. And if you can't tell by that, I gave this 5 stars. So I feel like I could say so much more about this book, but I just can't think of it at the moment because my mind's just going haywire with how good it was. So if you haven't, you should definitely read it, because I can't stop thinking about it. I don't think I'm going to stop thinking about it for a while until I read the next book. I don't know if it's just going to be a duet, because it is just 2 books I believe that's out at the moment, because the other one didn't come out that long ago. Or is it? I don't know. I really don't know. But hopefully it's just a duet, because then it'll be over the story after the next book. And I love like duet or trilogy fantasy series, because they're just quick and easy. I know it's only Saturday as well, but I've got to edit the videos coming out, not before this, the one before it, 2 videos before it. I've got to edit that one. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I might start another book tomorrow and this evening. But anyway, let's do the overview of the books I've read this week. The first book I started off with Blight Clark, and I remember I really enjoyed it. I did think it did take me a while to get into it, but once I did, I was hooked, and I did read this quite quickly. And this book did somewhat leave off on a cliffhanger, and I just really want to get back into it and know what happens. I feel like that happens in most fantasy books, so I gave this 4 stars. The next book I read was When the Moon Hatched, and I had mixed feelings. I feel like this was too complicated of a fantasy for me. Like there was this it wasn't just a single glossary page, it was multiple, and I feel like that's just too complicated for my brain to work and figure out. And I did enjoy like the storyline and where it was going, but some bits I was like, I just got so confused at times. And then I thought I'd understand, then I got confused again. So I gave this 3 stars because it wasn't a bad book, because it was beautifully written, but just for me, I didn't understand it, didn't understand what was going on. And the final book I read was Apprentice to the Villain, and I did just literally go over it in the past, a clip or 2 ago, so I won't go into depth, but I can't stop thinking about it. It's only been probably half an hour since I finished it, and I can't stop thinking about it. I gave this 5 stars. So overall, I think it was quite a good reading week. I did only read 3 books, because When the Moon Hatched did take me like 4 days to read, because it is quite a big book and quite complex, so I was struggling with that. But the other 2 literally took me less than 24 hours to read both of them, so there's that. If you aren't already, just hit subscribe and the notification button so you get notifications when I next post. If you haven't, please like this video. If you have any books you want me to read, any videos ideas you want me to do, put them in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!